On September 1st, 1859, something exploded on the surface of the sun. An enormous burst of energy raced across space, straight toward Earth. Less than 18 hours later, the night sky began to glow. Auroras appeared in places where they had almost never been seen before. Telegraph machines suddenly stopped working. Electrical equipment began throwing sparks. Some telegraph operators disconnected their batteries and discovered something impossible. Their machines were still working. Electricity from the storm itself was powering them. Humanity had just been hit by one of the most powerful solar storms ever recorded. But there was one reason civilization survived. It happened in 1859, before satellites, before GPS, before the internet, before the modern electrical grid, and that raises a terrifying question. What would happen if the same storm hit Earth today? Before we continue, think about this for a moment. Our entire modern world depends on technology. Electricity, satellites, GPS, communication, and the internet have become a part of almost everything we do. But what if a single explosion from the sun was powerful enough to disrupt all of it? That is what makes this story so terrifying. On the morning of September 1st, 1859, British astronomer Richard Carrington was observing the sun. He was studying a group of enormous dark regions called sunspots. Carrington carefully projected an image of the sun onto a screen and began drawing what he saw. Then, something unexpected happened. Two intensely bright patches of light suddenly appeared. Carrington watched as they grew brighter and then disappeared within minutes. He had just witnessed something extremely rare, a massive solar flare. But Carrington had no idea that something far more dangerous may have been racing toward Earth. The sun is not a peaceful ball of light. It is a gigantic nuclear furnace, constantly producing enormous amounts of energy. Sometimes, the sun releases violent explosions of radiation, and occasionally, billions of tons of magnetized plasma can be blasted into space. This is known as a coronal mass ejection, or CME. Most of these eruptions never reach Earth, but when one is launched directly toward us, the consequences can be extraordinary. And in 1859, Earth was directly in the path. Normally, a coronal mass ejection can take several days to travel from the sun to Earth, but the disturbance associated with the 1859 event arrived unusually fast. In less than 18 hours, Earth's magnetic field was struck by an enormous solar disturbance. The result was chaos across the planet. The night sky exploded with color. Brilliant auroras appeared far beyond the regions where they are normally seen. Reports describe glowing skies across parts of the Caribbean. In some locations, the night became so bright that people could reportedly read newspapers outside. But the beautiful lights were only one side of the storm. The other side was far more dangerous. Across Europe and North America, telegraph systems began malfunctioning. Machines produced sparks, operators received electric shocks, and in some cases, telegraph paper reportedly caught fire. The storm had disturbed Earth's magnetic field so violently that electrical currents were being induced inside long telegraph wires. Some operators discovered that their equipment could continue transmitting messages, even after the batteries had been disconnected. The solar storm itself was helping power the system. Today, we remember this event as the Carrington Event, one of the most intense geomagnetic storms in recorded history. And yet, despite everything that happened, civilization continued almost normally, because humanity had one enormous advantage. there was very little technology for the storm to destroy. Now, imagine the same event happening today. At first, most people might notice nothing unusual. The sun would look completely normal. Life would continue. People would go to work. Planes would cross oceans. Billions of smartphones would remain connected. Satellites would orbit silently above Earth. Then, the warnings would begin. Scientists monitoring the sun might detect a massive eruption, a coronal mass ejection, heading directly toward Earth. Depending on the event, humanity could have limited time to prepare. And when the storm arrived, our modern world could begin experiencing serious disruptions, because modern civilization depends on something the people of 1859 barely used: electricity. Our power grids contain enormous networks of transmission lines. During a severe geomagnetic storm, changes in Earth's magnetic field can create electrical currents inside those lines. These geomagnetically induced currents can interfere with power systems and potentially damage critical equipment. Transformers could overheat, electrical systems could become unstable, and large regions could face power disruptions, but electricity would only be the beginning. Thousands of satellites now orbit Earth. They help us communicate, navigate, predict weather, monitor disasters, transfer information, and manage parts of the global economy. But during an extreme solar storm, the environment around Earth can become dangerous. High-energy particles can interfere with satellite electronics. Communication systems can be disrupted. Satellite navigation signals can become less reliable. And Earth's upper atmosphere can heat and expand, increasing drag on satellites in low Earth orbit. Some spacecraft could temporarily malfunction. Others could potentially suffer permanent damage, and losing satellites would create problems far beyond space. GPS does much more than show directions on a smartphone. Modern aviation uses satellite navigation. Ships use it. Emergency services use it. Financial networks and communication systems rely on extremely accurate timing signals. If enough critical systems were disrupted, the effects could spread through modern civilization. And then, there is the internet. The idea that a solar storm could completely destroy the internet is often exaggerated, but that does not mean our modern world is safe. Data centers need electricity, communication networks, satellites, navigation systems, and critical infrastructure all depend on technology that can be disrupted. And we have already seen the warning. In March 1989, a powerful geomagnetic storm caused the Hydro-Quebec power grid to collapse within roughly 90 seconds, leaving millions without electricity. Then, in July 2012, the sun launched an extremely powerful eruption across Earth's orbit, but Earth was not there when it arrived. The storm missed us. If it had erupted roughly a week earlier, our planet could have been directly in its path. Humanity escaped because of timing, nothing more. Today, scientists constantly monitor the sun and track dangerous eruptions. But modern civilization has never experienced a direct repeat of the storm that struck Earth in 1859. We simply do not know what would happen. Perhaps our technology would survive. Or perhaps the storm would expose vulnerabilities we never knew existed. The Carrington Event did not destroy civilization because the modern world did not exist yet. Today, technology has become one of humanity's greatest strengths, but it has also created a new vulnerability. Somewhere on the sun, another enormous eruption will eventually occur. We do not know when. We do not know how powerful it will be. But one thing is certain. The most dangerous solar storm in human history may not be the one that happened in 1859. It may be the one still waiting to happen.